Welcome everybody to this session, the SuccessTracks session, online learning experiences that are a little different. We love that we have the opportunity to bring in some different types of presenters talking about all kinds of topics. Today we have Danny Rosen. He is from Brand Fuel, an amazing company that's just rocketing along in the business world. He's also a promo kitchen chef. Again, I just want to welcome you, Danny. Thanks for taking the time to share your wisdom with us.
Yeah, appreciate it, Jeff.
All right, it's going to be awesome. Danny's going to talk about the business fulfillment project. He's got a unique perspective on business and giving back to the community and being socially responsible. So it's going to be awesome. Before we get going here, I do want to thank our title sponsors for SuccessTracks. They are the ones that make what we do possible here at Free Promo Tips with regards to education and all the other content that we do, and that would be the amazing folks at Snugs USA, our good friends at Warwick, and our friends at AIA. These are companies that understand the value of what Free Promo Tips is doing that's positive for the industry. They're passionate about supporting education, and so we really do appreciate those fine companies. And for this session, Hit is contributing, and all those who attend will receive some sort of goodie from the fine folks over there at Hit. So I'm going to go ahead and hand this over to Danny, and he is going to take off and go into the business fulfillment project. Take it away, Danny.
Great, appreciate it, Jeff. Let me get this down out of here. All right. So I've been thinking about this a lot. I feel like, and I think most people listening would agree, that capitalism has gone off the rails over the past 25 years or so. You know, we've gotten greedier. You know, I think about that movie, Gordon Gekko, in the movie Wall Street. He said, greed is good. But the truth is, good is good. And I think we need to take a hard look in the mirror and realize that we're no longer building businesses that benefit everyone. And what I mean by that is that we all understand the importance of taking good care of customers and investors, but are we also looking at the other stakeholders, our employees, the community, the environment, and even our suppliers? I believe that companies do have a responsibility to look out for these stakeholders as well as that responsibility to create a profitable bottom line. And yet they need not be mutually exclusive. So assuming businesses want to do both, make a profit and take care of employees, communities, suppliers, and the environment, how can you do both? And why should you? So these are big questions trending in business today. I'm going to try and answer them in this session, and I'll do it with the promotional products industry spin. I'm going to share some ideas with you that you can test in your business and with your customers and the community. These ideas will help you increase profits, but equally as important, they are going to help you improve employee morale, create customer and employee loyalty, and show you why it's important to sell with more of a socially responsible focus. So if you're not in a position to make big decisions like this for your organization, take some notes. It's all good. We'll get those get the notes over to the decision makers, and we'll get your company involved. All right. So here's what we're going to talk about. Part one. This is for your company. We talk about improving morale through culture, giving employees a sense of purpose, and we'll give employees reason to be loyal. And I think people should no longer be called human beings. I think we should be called human doings. I mean, we're all so damn busy. It's like we are completely missing the mark when it comes to the importance of living. I'm sure there's a profit motive, the big check. This is a goal that all of us have. But many of us have lost our way. So how can we tell if employees are engaged and working for our companies for the right reasons? Keeping employees invested in their jobs and dedicated to the company vision is one of the most important work issues in our lifetime. Now, you've heard the saying, culture is king. And culture in business is in a constant state of flux. Culture is either thriving or it's in the hands of rumor mongers and negative Nellies or grudge collectors. Now, your employees are engaged when they're making the decision themselves to go above and beyond their roles. And when culture aligns with discretionary effort, companies succeed at a much more rapid pace. Your business needs to be more than a place to go to work for a paycheck. One way to find out how close you are to building great culture would be to survey your people. And you'd want to ask them questions like this. Do you feel as if your opinions matter? Do you have the resources needed to get the job done? Do you trust your manager? Do you trust the company? These are a few questions. But based on the responses, you really need to work on these areas that have shortcomings. Now, this isn't easy, but your efforts are going to be rewarded with employees who are happier, more productive, and therefore they're going to stick around longer. Be sure to follow up every 4 to 6 months with a survey in rinse and repeat fashion. And here in the red, this is really important. Employees need to know managers are listening. Now Zappos, everybody knows Zappos, the big online retailer, it's now part of Amazon. They let the world know that culture is the #1 priority for that company. Think about that. Their priority is not profit, it's culture. Now, Zappos strongly believes, however, that profit can be derived from great culture. And culture starts with creating a shared values matrix amongst employees. Now we, Brand Fuel, and I think, yeah.
Hey, I was just going to say, just to plug, Tony from Zappos is going to be doing a keynote at the PPI Expo. If I would encourage everybody to go, if not just to see that, but of course it's the Expo. But that is going to be awesome because, as you say, the values there and what they've done is quite phenomenal.
Yeah, Jeff, I was going to mention that, and so PPA Expo, the CEO of Zappos, it's going to be incredible this year, coming 2014. So, at Brand Fuel, and I think in most companies, we usually hire based on skill set fit, but we're often firing people because of a value set mismatch. Think about that. And to that end, Zappos even pays new employees $2,000 to quit. So if your goal is to keep the right employees on the proverbial bus, it's likely time you go through an exercise to determine your company's core values. That will help you determine your culture, your brand, and all of your business strategies. So check these out. By way of example, here's what Zappos has developed as their value set. Deliver wow through service. Embrace and drive change. Create fun and a little weirdness. I love that one. Be adventurous, creative, and open-minded. Pursue growth and learning. Build open and honest relationships with communication. Build a positive team and family spirit. I like this one too. Do more with less. We all learned a little bit about that in the last several years. 9, be passionate and determined. And 10, be humble. Another good one. So again, I'd strongly encourage you to develop a value set with your team. This can be fun and an eye-opening experience. But beyond the buzzwords you toss on your whiteboard, to be successful in the long term, remember this. Employees must feel connected to their work and be emotionally invested as well. We all want more than just a paycheck. We crave stimulating and enjoyable work. We are looking for meaning in life. So why not deliver some of that at work? We all want to make a difference. We all want the world to be a better place. We are all looking for a community of friends. We all want to learn and grow and have fun. And when we find these things, morale and productivity increases. And this is what equates to a healthy bottom line. All right, this is going to sound corny, but close your eyes for a minute. Seriously, close your eyes. Now picture this. Picture a business built on love and care versus stress and fear, where team members are passionate and committed to their work. Are you currently working in an environment with trust? What about accountability, transparency, integrity, loyalty, fairness? Is there an opportunity for personal growth? Okay, now open your eyes, even though I know most of you guys didn't shut them. It all sounds a little pie in the sky. It's sort of mushy, especially the love at work part. But if we worked in environments like this, wouldn't we be happier and look forward to coming to work? And wouldn't we all work harder and less likely be switching companies? Wouldn't we feel a bond through camaraderie and esprit de corps? Drew Carey once said this. Oh, you hate your job? Why didn't you say so? There's a support group for that. It's called Everybody, and they meet at the bar. So let's be frank. You may or may not love your current job, or your employees may or may not love their current jobs, and you may or may not believe you can find something great in your current job to love, but I promise you, you can. I mean, take a look at yourself, your skills, your interests. Find activities you can enjoy doing every day. If you do something you love every single day, your current job won't seem so bad. So don't wait for that next raise or promotion. Take action yourself. So why aren't we trying to change the culture at work to be even better? And this is really important to share here. This is something that is not incumbent upon business owners alone. It's incumbent upon all of us. Making change from within as a group, it's a hell of a lot more powerful than trying to force it from the top down. And I know this from personal experience. Now ask yourself, are you and your coworkers able to do the things to make a better place at work? And I think in most cases the answer is yes, and yet we still wait for someone else to do something about it. I mean, no wonder nothing ever changes. So let's talk a little bit about getting involved in the community now and what's connected to this idea of great culture, productivity, and profits. Businesses offer a place for people to learn and grow together and possibly to support causes they mutually believe in. If a business offers a platform for community activism that employees believe in and can rally behind, the feeling of connection and belonging to a group occurs. A company that offers a way for employees to help their communities increases the opportunity to deepen relationships internally and ultimately reinforces loyalty. So think about this. Are there days or weeks that go by where you might not have meaningful interaction with your coworkers? And when is there ever really time to do this? We are all so busy and overworked. There's pressure to get that paycheck to make our American dreams come true. So nonetheless, taking a break to get away from our monitors and do something good with our coworkers can be unbelievably stimulating and rewarding. By way of example, let's see here, let's read this. Marianne Williamson once said, "Success means we go to sleep at night knowing that our talents and abilities were used in a way that serves others." And our old friend Winston Churchill once said, "We make a living by what we get. We make a life by what we give." Don't you want a piece of that? So by way of example here, this is some pictures of the crazy freaks at Brand Fuel, the Brand Fuelians, doing wellness here. A group of motivated people, employees, got together here, and they created a wellness committee. They did it. It didn't come from the top down. I mean, every month we are invested in rotating activities like socials or pranks or volunteer activities. Our company funds the activities, but it's empowered employees who design and execute the wellness programming. We realize that one of the greatest untapped sources of motivation is a sense of service to others, and so focusing on the contribution of our work to other people's lives has this potential to make us more productive than helping ourselves. So we give volunteer time. It becomes not only a part of what our wellness committee delivers, but it becomes a part of our culture. So why don't you start up a wellness committee? Kick the effort off slow, perhaps even with a quarterly activity with a small budget. And if it's done properly, your company will invest in it more because morale will improve, not to mention your company is going to be doing great things in the community. Here's a revealing Deloitte stat for you. 72% of Americans say they would prefer to work for a company that supports charitable causes. 72%. I mean, talk about a way to help you find great new employees. Plus, not you and I, Jeff, but everybody else is aging in this industry. I mean, the younger generation in particular are looking for meaning in their jobs. We are as well, but I think the younger generation really is. So I use this example here. We're an industry where many buyers refer to us, as we all know, trinkets and trash peddlers. Every time I hear that, a little piece of me dies inside when I hear that disenchanting term. It's an awful moniker. It has us begging the question, where is the good in what we do every day? Where is our sense of purpose? Now, sure, I think we all agree that well-thought-out giveaways are going to help drive prospects to trade show booths, and that branded holiday gifts, they make clients feel like you give a damn about them. There's no doubt about it. I love this part of our business. These things certainly can add value, and they can build on client relationships, and it hopefully drives more business. But back to the question. Beyond doing that, beyond helping businesses through branded promotional products, where is the good in what we do? So I know what you're thinking. When gross profits are being challenged, can companies really afford to invest in the business of benevolence and volunteerism? My answer is they can't afford not to. Again, company-supported cause-related employee activity is directly connected to improved morale, increased productivity, relationship team building, recruiting new talent. I could go on and on. With engaged employees being our best employees, we must find out ways to retain them. All right, so if you don't think recruitment and retention of talent is important, check these stats out. Bain & Company says that each year the average company loses 20% of its employee base. That's painful. Columbia University found that replacing a lost employee can cost up to 150% of that person's annual salary. I mean, all I can say is wow. So unfortunately, if your employees are feeling lazy and uninspired, you're not alone. So I'm going to be real transparent here. We have had days and even months like this at Brand Fuel. Getting your folks involved in doing social good as a team can motivate them and can shake them out of a rut. I've seen it happen. Ultimately, the better your employees feel about what they are doing at their jobs, the better your business will perform. And selfishly, giving can be good business, especially when other like-minded businesses want to work with you because you stand out as a company that cares about its role as corporate citizen. So why not schedule an employee generosity day? Have your employees sign up for a community or team project they can get excited about. Here's a couple of ideas how getting involved in the community might translate for you. This is some of the stuff we do at Brand Fuel. One, inspire your employees to volunteer with a nonprofit that they, not the owners, are interested in. Two, give paid time off for employees to do this volunteer work. Yes, pay them to do it. Don't dock them PTO. Three, extend your reach and the outcome ultimately by inviting family members, maybe your vendors, and I think best yet, invite your clients to take part in this giving back team building experience. Four, we've got wholesale access to great branded promotional merchandise, so why not suit them up in t-shirts? Have a photographer on site capturing these moments. Take the group action photos. Give the photos to every single volunteer in a branded photo frame. I mean, just imagine your employees, or better yet, your clients, putting a picture frame with your logo and the charity's logo on their desk or on a wall somewhere, or a Facebook page. And I talk about building brand loyalists. Your competitors are going to wish they had thought of that. And five, rinse and repeat this. Do it once a quarter. It doesn't have to be every month. That can be somewhat exhausting, but if your employees are all about it, you can rally them all the better. But if any of this is to work, I think there are three values that employees need to have. And this sort of goes back to the value set matrix, I think. One is optimism. I think they need to have a profound sense of hope that we can be better people. The second is rebellion. I think they need a sense that the rules can be broken and we can rewrite them if we want to improve things. Three, and I think this is probably most important, empathy. They've got to feel the pain of others. If we don't feel that pain, things are not going to change. So here's a dose of reality. If your people do not have a sense of optimism, rebellion, and empathy, success is going to be a hell of a lot harder because they are going to be taking paid time off just because they don't have to work. All right. We're going to buzz through this last. Yeah.
Hey, Danny, before we move on, there were a couple comments I want to jump in on, and we will have some time for questions because some questions are coming as well. Somebody did ask, though, when you talked about the polar plunge, do you do that yourself? Somebody wanted to know?
Yeah, so do I dress up in the banana hammock and jump in and go extreme? When I do the polar plunge, just so you know, hopefully there are no cameras around, but I go full bore. The answer is yes.
Okay, and so that's like really cold water, isn't that what that is?
It's yeah, pretty icy cold water, and that's one of our less attended. We usually have about a quarter of the staff showing up. Not only that, but you have to wake up at like 5:30 in the morning. The sun's coming up like your screensaver. But those of us who do it just totally love it, and you know that may not be for everyone in your office.
So yeah, so you as the leader, you take the you take the lead there. Okay, cool. By the way, and somebody wanted, and we won't. I'm not going to derail you too much here, but
Sure.
Do you play in the band there in the showroom?
No, so that was I didn't tell anybody I was doing this, but I hired this band to show up. This funk band, they were here at 7:30 in the morning on a Friday morning. We had a really, really rough week or two, and people were pretty down. And so when people walked into the office, this band was playing in our showroom, and they had no idea what was going on. You want to talk about Facebook posts, and yeah, so it was just something fun to get employee. And we had a couple drinks at the end of the day and celebrated, a couple rough weeks, and it set us off on the right tone for the following weeks.
Okay, and I'll jump out here, but a lot of good comments about building connections and so forth with your team. And there is a question that I think is relevant here as we go on. Bob wants to know, how many employees do you have over there at Brand Fuel?
I think we're at 26 right now. We've got 3 locations. So, if you've got a smaller organization or a bigger organization, I think some of this stuff applies to you. You find the threads that work for you and adapt.
All right, excellent. I'm jumping out. If I pop back in, it'll be for something relevant, I hope. So, hey, yeah. on we go.
Yeah. So, and I'll actually give you a quick idea. Something that we do with a nonprofit I work for is called Dare to Care. So, if you had your boss shave his head for money, or everybody gets a day off or whatever, everybody chips in $50. If you can raise $500 for a certain cause, you can have some fun ideas around the concept of Dare to Care. And no, I'm not going to shave my head. I would look like.
I was going to say, I'll give you $50 so that we'll do it in another session. Let's see it live.
I'll put a free promo tips tattoo on the right side of my butt cheek for $1,000. So if you can get that money together, I'm in. All right.
Okay. All right. I'll work on that.
All right. Let's talk about increasing client loyalty. I think we talked a lot about your employees and how to maintain sort of the happy work culture, but let's talk about client loyalty and sort of how some of that ties into money. So think about how the new economy has changed your clients' purchasing behaviors. We feel it here at Brandfield to an extent. Does it take you longer to sell? It takes us a lot longer to sell. Is your average order smaller? The answer for us is yes, it is. Have our margins been squeezed? Yes. We have more procurement people looking at what we're doing now than ever before, which is great. It allows us to show value, but it's challenging. We're consumed by sort of answering these questions and investing time there instead of providing that value we'd like to. Now, has price seemingly become more important than the relationship due to budgetary pressure? This is my favorite question. Is Google your client's first call? Is Google your client's first call? So are they looking at Google and looking for products before they call you? It happens to our sales team all the time. And so ultimately, how are you addressing these important questions? We're working in a fairly homogenized industry, where we're often selling everything to everyone. And the number of Me Too products versus proprietary items is completely overwhelming. We all know that people buy from people they like and trust. So we've got to continue to build trust, develop personal relationships with the buyers. But how do you do this when clients and prospects screen calls, they delete thoughtful emails without responding? Gathering social media intel and developing rapport in that space is one answer to address the challenge for sure. Another way to develop that personal relationship is to engage clients in unique experiences. I'm going to give you 2 examples here. An old school salesperson is going to take a customer out for a round of golf. Old school salesperson is going to follow it up by a steak dinner, maybe take your client or prospect to a local gentleman's club, and that's icky, right? The new school salesperson, however, knows exactly what interests the buyer because they have listened to their clients and their personal and professional challenges. They have access and investigate social media. And a good example here is, let's assume you've noticed a client tweeting about a new cupcake recipe she's dying to test drive. Why not gift that person a cupcake recipe book? Ronnie, you're on the phone. Let's do something with the book company. Or, get some cupcake cooking tools, or deliver custom cupcakes to this client's office. We need to make our sales efforts much more personal. So remember the action item I mentioned a few minutes ago with the volunteer activity. Again, instead of the round of golf, why not invite your clients to join your team's volunteer effort? Serve lunch, hook your clients up with a custom shirt that recognizes their involvement, invite other clients so they can meet each other, network, and bond. Present them with that photo frame and the branded photo frame of your group's giving back effort, and talk about building loyalty. That is what builds loyalty. And remember, research proves over and over again that buyers prefer to purchase from those companies who give back to their communities. All right, part 3. We're going to talk about suppliers, how they help us create meaning in our jobs. All right, this is a little out there, but I've been thinking about this a lot and talking to some suppliers, and maybe this is going to gain some traction. So if you're a supplier, please listen up. If you're a distributor, ask your supplier if they're interested in doing something like this. Now, I think suppliers could, and they really should, build community giving into their marketing plan. Some do it, but in doing so, salespeople might have a larger sense of purpose beyond what we all know as the commission motive. But how can a person connect a distributor and ultimately the client to community causes? So I worked up an example here. I want to encourage you to think about this, and then again, talk to your suppliers. All right, think about your favorite supplier who sells pencils. And that could be any product, insert product there. Let's talk about pencils. They're obviously in business to sell more pencils. And as a salesperson, you need a better angle than being the lowest price in our commodity-driven, check Google first industry. The supplier could create a giving back component to the sale that looks something like the Tom Shoes model. Hopefully you guys know what that is, but it's buy a pair of Tom Shoes and a second pair is donated to a child in a developing country. Now back to the pencils. Our pencil supplier could do the same. So with every pencil purchase, a second pencil would be sent to a public school in your community. Sell 2,500 pencils, and 2,500 pencils go back to needy schools. Now maybe I'm alone here, but I think your customer would really get behind this. And maybe suppliers could move tired merchandise or keep the presses spinning during those downtimes when they're offering this deal. I truly believe that suppliers could help distributors differentiate, attract more business, and become a conduit to doing more good. Doing so will help distributors create stronger bonds with clients, and clients might be a little more compelled to buy from a certain distributor who offers this sort of giving alternative. All right, part 4, we're going to talk about attracting the right customers to your business and selling in a socially responsible manner. I mentioned earlier that Western society carries an enormous amount of deficit attention and what it pays to being as opposed to doing. We need to figure out ways to be more intentional about being mindful in the way we go about making money. We need to shift from profit maximization to a hybrid model of profit and purpose maximization. Again, profit and purpose maximization. So at Brand Fuel, we believe in brand good. It's doing good with your brand, or what we call the business of benevolence. We target clients who are doing good in the world. And I'm not just talking about nonprofits necessarily. I know there's like this thought that nonprofits nickel and dime you, but we're talking about beyond that. And I don't believe that's altogether true, but I think nonprofits have that mentality. Brand Fuel targets marketing departments first. I think most of the distributors on this call probably do that. That's where the lion's share of the money comes from. But we also target sales departments. Human resources is a third place we mine for business. Even a lot of mid and large-sized companies have CSR departments. That stands for Corporate Social Responsibility, and we target them. Matter of fact, I would strongly suggest you keep a pulse on those 3 letters, CSR, because corporate social responsibility is a massive movement in business right now, and you need to be a part of that. So first, if you want to open up new avenues of selling and doing good, check with your client's HR and CSR departments. They're likely in charge of community-centric projects. Many companies are looking at the triple bottom line. And that is at the bottom here, you can see people, profit, and planet. That's what we call the triple bottom line. There's even a certification program for businesses who are hitting home runs by looking beyond just the profit motive. So check out B Corp, and you can look them up at bcorporation.net. They've been around for some years, and they're growing and doing really well. The name B in B Corp comes from Be the Change. B Corp is a certification for sustainable businesses. It's similar to what Fair Trade certification is to coffee, or USDA organic certification is to milk. And when I look at the rigorous standards that they offer, they are looking at environmental performance, accountability, and transparency. Those are the things that they're looking at. They have an incredible network of companies. They're doing great things, but they're also doing business with each other. Now, in the promotional product space, the good people at Fairware, and I think it's fairware.com, check them out. They're in Vancouver. They are doing it right. Got to check them out because they're not only selling promotional products with a conscience, they are also great stewards of our industry. Now, I think we all agree that often it's emotion that drives decision making. Think about that. Emotion drives decision making. And doing good can drive emotion. Now, if you agree with both those statements, one would think that if you do good things in your community, it likely enhances the chances a buyer will want to work with you. I also like to share this little tidbit. It seems to be lost in translation through the years, but the word sell, S-E-L-L, was derived from the Old English word sellen, S-E-L-L-E-N, which means to give. And think about that. You know, there are other causes your team can rally behind beyond the nonprofit sector, which will help you sell in a more socially responsible manner. Think about Made in USA. Get your clients to focus on supporting local, to become a loco promovore. Now, I made that word up, loco promovore. But what to me it means is get your clients to buy your promotional products locally and products that are made in the good old USA. Sell environmentally friendly products. You know, do you think this is a fad? Don't let it be. We know it's important. We have the opportunity and the privilege to share that with our clients. When a promo company sells junk with a logo on it, I call it landfilling. That's sort of a made-up word too. I mean, it's a verb that means to fill the landfill up with junk. Let's sell stuff with form and function, with educational value. If someone tosses your promotional product that you sold to your client, shame on us. We need to ensure that what we sell does not harm the environment or end up in the landfill. We have a responsibility to ensure we channel our clients' dollars wisely. And to this end, you should seriously consider taking the PPAI Code of Conduct. We've done it with our company. It's posted on our website. We talk about it every quarter or so. We see how we're doing on a day-by-day basis to make sure that we're managing our workflow properly through one point of contact who reviews our orders. And the other thing is read up on the CPSI rules and regulations. I mean, this is serious stuff. And frankly, I think buyers expect this sort of commitment from their distributor partners. Now, I know Axis, you guys are on the phone here today, and I'm glad you joined us. Look at what Axis Promotion's doing. Those guys have a whole department around this for their clients. They take it very seriously. They're setting a trend. So do some quick research on CPSIA and PPAI's Code of Conduct to get more information about the gravitas of these important directives your company really should get behind. I would also recommend that you sell to organizations that are focused on these types of programs. Think about this: anti-smoking campaigns for youth, education with regard to childhood obesity or obesity in the workplace where a wellness program can be implemented. And as a quick side note, approximately 3 in 4 Americans are going to be overweight by 2015 according to studies. The medical costs of these individuals can be up to 10 times higher of those who are not overweight. And as a result, healthcare costs are expected to increase and dramatically over the next decade. Reduction of auto accidents. You can do this through a reward program. You know, donating blood, where donors get points to use towards branded rewards. Recognize people or companies for reducing their carbon footprint. We've got great products around that. And then, of course, nonprofits. What a great way to get involved in the community. With campaigns that address anti-smoking and childhood obesity, you can help your clients even leverage tax advantages. And I love the saying that perhaps promotional products can indeed help save the world. All right. These are some hit products that they put together for us, Hit Promotions. These are some things that very cost-effectively, feature a canvas to educate, to recognize, to fundraise, provides a physical voice for doing good. Most suppliers have this stuff. Take advantage of it. We're all creative. If we're able to generate business in these areas, what's the result? We do the right thing. We inspire our employees. We attract talent. It becomes a heck of a lot easier to market. We share the customer's heart and mind, and we create brand loyalists. So what are we waiting for? Go get with your sales team and devise a go-to-market strategy. Now, I have a dream. This is a big part here called cause marketing. And it's sort of more of a business fantasy. It's that philanthropy becomes the future of marketing. Philanthropy becomes the future of marketing. And it's happening in some areas with some brands. So if you think about that, it's essentially using your marketing budget for something good, and you will end up with something more. Now, I say this so that you'll consider it for your company, but also I want you to use it as a convincing argument for your clients to do the same. Brands and consumers are getting increasingly sophisticated with the ways to connect causes through marketing. And cause marketing can be a win-win-win. Yes, I said 3 wins. It's providing an easy way for 1, consumers to support a mission, 2, generating awareness and funds for a cause, and the 3rd win is it creates the potential to increase sales for your company. So, for example here, while I was at a grocery store not too long ago, I was presented with a plethora of frozen pizza options. Now, we don't always eat frozen pizza, but it was one of those nights and no one wanted to cook. So what caught my eye was this pink pizza box. Now, I have 3 girls in my family. We have 3 laundry cycles, whites, darks, and pink. So naturally, the pink box is going to stand out. And there's an ad on the top of this box. I'm checking it out. It says, for every pizza sold, they, the company, not me, is going to donate $1 from the sale of the pizza to the Susan G. Komen Foundation for Breast Cancer Research. Now, the price was in line with the other pizzas, so of course I bought it. And I felt good. And sort of in my heart, I knew I was being what I call a slacktivist. I wasn't really making a big donation or actually volunteering time, but it shows you how cause marketing can work really well. I mean, imagine that dollar multiplier is incredible. So you better bet that promotional products are being used to help these brands share their investment in giving back. Now, I'm going to show you guys a video, and I hope this works. Jeff and I were testing this earlier. Let's see here. I'm going to give you a couple ideas on this one coming up is a tearjerker. So get your
yes, it is.
Yes, get your hankies, your promotional branded hankies ready. And I was reading the notes on this thing below the comments, and it said one guy said everything was positive. The only negative comment said, "Damn it, now I'm crying." So I think Johnson & Johnson here, they do the right thing, and seemingly they do it without trying to sell you any of their products. All right, here we go.
What is it?
It's you.
It's me? All right, I know it's not your favorite, but it's time for your medicine, okay? You ready? 1, 2, 3. Emma, Bobemma, Banana, Fana, Fofemma, Fee, Fi, Bobemma, Emma. Very good, sweetie. How do you feel?
Good.
Yeah, you did a really good job, okay? Let's go back to
drawing. That's it. Powerful stuff. All right, we're going to talk about another one here. Procter & Gamble, massive company, boasts an increase from their impressive Thank You Mom ad. You might have seen this campaign that they had that touted, they said was their best in their 175-year history. So if you haven't seen this, again, the best video they've had, ad. And as you watch, you'll know why. But they didn't try and sell you a damn thing along the way. And you better bet promotional products opportunities were connected to this campaign.
How do you create the most successful P&G campaign ever on the world's biggest stage? We did it with a simple truth. P&G and all 34 of its participating brands are not in the business of helping Olympic athletes be better athletes, but they are in the business of helping moms. So we came up with a big, emotional, creative idea that ran all over the world. Let's thank Mom for all that she does. We made that message more local by creating over 40 short films that told emotional stories of real athletes' journeys through their mother's eyes.
如果你要为他前途着想，应该让他出去。
I've raised an Olympian. That's a powerful statement right there.
We engage consumers on a personal level by helping them honor and thank their own mom through a global Facebook app. We served Olympic moms in London by actually building a home away from home for them at the games and helping pay their way to the Games. As the Olympics carried out, we were able to share their proudest moment when their son or daughter competed as an Olympian. All of this came together to make Thank You Mom the biggest, most successful global campaign in P&G's 175-year history. 500 million in global incremental P&G sales, 76 billion global earned media impressions, over 74 million global views, and over 370 million Twitter interactions.
What's been really exciting about it, that's brought people from around the world together to really understand and engage with P&G and its brands in a way that they've never done before. P&G,
proud sponsor of moms.
Yeah, I get choked up watching both of those. So intense stuff. To most of us, doing good with a brand is directly related to a basic tenet in life, helping others. And there's measurable evidence that a brand's philanthropic activities can positively influence shopper behavior and ultimately purchasing decision. In 2001, Edelman Trust Barometer found that only 56% of people trust businesses to do what's right. God, it's time to change that low score. So if we're honest, people care more about causes than they do corporate brands. So why not merge brands with causes? And why not use promotional products that help the marketing awareness and packaging aspects? Buy this whatever your client is selling, get this t-shirt with a charitable giving design or message. In the end, I love the saying, the longest journey that people must take is the 18 inches between their heads and their hearts. Now, I know it's hard to make changes like these in your business. And again, honestly, at Brand Fuel, we struggle from time to time. We really do. I'd recommend that you create some deeper dialogue with your employees about what matters to them. What gives them a spring in their step? What gives them a sense of purpose? And develop some programming around that. Teach your sales team there is value in opening new doors in the HR or CSR department to not only sell more, but to work on projects that have a higher sense of purpose. Because when we work with a sense of purpose, we're more apt to respond with loyalty and better work. So I wish the best of luck to you guys finding more good in what you do, whether it's individually or as a company. And I want to thank you, Jeff, for putting this thing on and allowing me to talk.
Well, wow, Danny, I'm still kind of recovering from the the commercial with the child. I know that out here in our community, seriously, I'm glad I'm not on video. There's nothing to me worse than kids with cancer, and we've been very active on the distributor side of our business. Of course, I publish free promo tips, but I'm a distributor as well. And some years ago, I met a guy whose son died of cancer, probably at about age 10, and they created this foundation, the Michael Hoffman Foundation, and I can remember saying to Chris Hoffman, his dad, that Chris, the only thing I ever want to talk to you about is how we can help. And they have all these years, must be, gosh, at least 10 years now since this foundation's been going. They run super lean, and it's really grassroots driven, and done a lot to support kids with cancer. But I don't know, for me and others, perhaps you have a background. My mom, my family, we were always givers, served on boards and stuff. Danny, do you, by the way, is this something, this whole cause marketing, does this come from your family? I mean, how did you end up having a passion for this?
I don't know, man. Everybody's got a story. I think everybody's got a heart. Some people have maybe bigger hearts than others. I don't think I guess if I had to really scratch the surface as to why I do this, there's probably two reasons. One is I feel like I was given a lot in my life. My parents took good care of me, and I took advantage of what was given to me, and I felt like I had that privilege that a lot of others didn't, and I just felt compelled to share whatever I could with anyone because I got the gift. Why me? Why not somebody else? So some of it must be just sort of innate, I guess. The other thing is that when I give or when I donate time and I move from a slacktivist to an activist, it is about doing it for, one, the cause, but two, I do it when it's fun and really meaningful. And just striking a check doesn't do much for me or most people. I really like to get in there and look at 990s and investigate and get to know the people behind the work. And then I like to rally a group of friends so we all go out and have a good time doing this together. And I think that's why some of the nonprofit work I've done has become really successful. I don't think everybody does it just for the cause. I think they do it for the camaraderie. And ultimately, the cause is the beneficiary of that. So I think if I'm honest with myself, there's probably some truth there for me as well.
Well, and we'd like to encourage anybody, we do receive questions and stuff here, and if there's a story that you want to type in and share in the few minutes of time we have, we're happy to pass it along. I know it's mentioned here that there's one organization that does a blood drive at work, and then afterwards the employees, they do a nice lunch afterwards, and of course everybody knows that October is Breast Cancer Month, and all the promotional product suppliers are responding to that. Of course, it's still the beginning of the month, and we do some things with the organization that does on the distributor side, works with Susan G. Cohen, and so many great causes. And I think that one of the things I love about the freedom we have in sharing SuccessTracks, and we call them business building experiences because, gosh, there are plenty of webinars on great things that are happening in the industry. PPI does great ones, and what my goal is to really do some things different and talk about things that are related to business but not directly related to business. We'll have one coming up with Rod Brown and talking about the time he spent in Africa, and he goes down to Mexico and builds homes. And there's a guy who runs a $20 million plus promotional products distributorship, and the way he runs it, it enables him to do things that seemingly really matter, because at the end of the day, we do need to put food on the table for our families, but if we can make a difference. Just yesterday was Starbucks Pay It Forward Day. Like if you bought coffee for somebody, dang, I didn't do that. So now I feel guilty. I could do it. You could do it any day. It doesn't have to be a specific day. Just blow somebody away by doing that. Let's see what else is coming in. A lot of people thanking us for doing this, and if there's any questions, feel free to additional questions, fire them off. So. Danny, any other thoughts you'd like to share? Tell us a little bit about, by the way, speaking of giving back, there's a promo kitchen happening, and tell us a little bit about Promo Kitchen, which is an organization of promotional products professionals that are giving back and try to help new people in the industry. Can you give us a little overview on that?
Yeah, it's interesting. You talk about the child with cancer, and then you talk about Promo Kitchen. I mean, both are forms of giving in some way. I mean, Promo Kitchen is a group of volunteers within the promotional products industry that a couple years ago got together, and they said they wanted to disrupt some of the thinking in the industry and create a group of people that were thought leaders and provide a platform for that. But as we developed over that period of time, we found that our mission quickly became around mentorship and education. And so we have a mentorship program. So if you're a new distributor, supplier, or someone who's been in the industry for a long time, we pair you guys up. And we're talking about working with PPAI so that folks who call in at PPAI, they can be sent over to Promo Kitchen, and we can set up that mentorship program. There's guidelines around that, and so far we've had some success around the year, so that program's been in place. Ultimately, we're working on education, and at almost all of the major industry events, we have a social, which we're getting famous for, and a lot of people think that's all we do is throw a big party, but one of our value tenets, so to speak, is that we won't do this if we're not having fun. And there's a lot of good people who are running this organization, this what will be officially, come 2014, a nonprofit organization, who are having fun with it. And get involved. You can be a guest writer. You can join the mentorship program. Definitely check out the website, which is promokitchen.com. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. We are blogging all the time. There's tremendous content there. And I think this is Jeff, really important for you. We're working together. I think this idea of sharing education in the industry, what Free Promo Tips is doing, and the SuccessTracks is very similar to Promo Kitchen in a lot of ways, and I think that speaks for itself. I think years ago we would have felt territorial and who are those guys over there? We've got to get the best content. I mean, here we are having a conversation together about let's just do things together, have some fun, share some knowledge.
Yeah, well, I love you guys, Mark Graham and Bobby Lehue and Charity Gibson, who just did a SuccessTracks session for us. I mean, really, we're all working together to do good stuff for the industry. And I remember when Free Promo Tips was born from some people reaching out to help me. I tell the story when we were at the apparel decorating industry, and it was my wife had the brilliant idea of getting us into promotional products. It's like, yeah, we should do this, and I remember very well our very first PPAI Expo in Dallas, and we're getting on buses in freezing rain, and to go to education. And it's
right.
Like, I'm a decorator. And the focus in our industry is so much more towards certification and education and professional development and such. And I'm thinking, where's the coffee? That's what I wanted. But it was life-changing, actually. And it was in one of those sessions we met Charles Dugan, who's, I believe, still on the PPI board, and we become good friends. I mean, this must have been 15 years ago, maybe. Well, we've been at Vegas for a while. Anyway, a long time ago, and Charles invited us into a networking group that ultimately became a group of industry leaders that still goes today. And it was really back in 2005 that I thought, wow, these people helped me when I came into the industry. I want to help others. There's plenty of opportunity for all of us to work together and make this a better industry. I'm writing right now on the whole how our industry has been degraded into the tchotchke business and who's responsible for that, and can't we really offer branding solutions? And we're not going to save the world with that content, but we are going to revisit a topic that's been around for a long time about selling solutions and going in a different direction here with this giving back to the community. I mean, this is a great way, for people to really make a difference and build their brands. And somebody did want to say, yeah, thank you, Danny, for all you do in helping us to remind us. Thank you, Tina. And so, again, we go through our very crazy busy lives. There's something in my bio on Free Promo Tips where I think I say something like, my goal is to step out of my crazy busy life and simply be available. Sometimes it's about just being available. It doesn't even really, take a lot of time. And so,
something about that.
And by the way, go ahead.
I was going to say, well, something about I think you're talking about being present. If you think about that word, being present, I mean, present is also a gift. I mean, the double meaning there is so, if you think about it, it's really powerful. It's a friend of mine who love her to death. She's one of the hardest working people I know. She's a marketing person, and we work together on the band together stuff, real community driven. She owns this small marketing firm called Angel Oak Creative, and she's got her phone we're all jacked on our phones these days, glued to these things, and it's wonderful because we can get stuff done, but man, we're disconnected, especially for those of us who have kids. I mean, you got to throw that stuff away. She is, for 17 months that she's been building her business, and she's doing very well now. She has not really been present, she said, and she took some time to go to Chicago to spend some time with her twin sister who's expecting, and her husband for the first time in 17 months, and she had moved away. They had lived together all these years, and it was the first time they left. Well, she left her phone, I think, by accident maybe at home. And, that first day is really hard not to have your phone or to have access. She said that those 4 days that they had together was, in her being present, was the biggest gift that she could give not only to herself because she needed it for mental health, but her sister was like, I don't remember you ever being this way. I miss that when we were kids, we had it, but we've all been so busy. And so, man, get rid of your phone. Like you said, spend time with your kids and just focus on them and be present. It is a gift.
Right, and, to talk about the point. There's a comment about being on point, and this is the point. The point is this is a session about thinking a little bit differently and giving back, and the stories and our life's experience that make us who we are, and who we are is directly affected to the success of our businesses. And so the point of this session, I believe I have this right, Danny, is it's the business fulfillment project. And how is that happening? You know, we're getting fulfilled by selling more than stuff. That is the point. It's about more than stuff. And really it was from this our conversation about this session, Danny, where we talked about giving back, and I came up with the idea of supporting the PPEF, the Promotional Products Education Foundation, and I'm working with the board members over there to actually donate money through people supporting free promo tips into that cause, because it's accepted in our industry, and education is really good. There's obviously many causes we could do, but we're going to focus on that and also promote what's good, and going beyond just raising the money. It's lives that are changed by people that are helped. Sometimes it's overlooked in fundraising when you show that video of that young girl. I mean, that has impact, and giving money's great, but how that money's being used when we see that in changing lives, whether it's for medical reasons or education reasons, or anyway, providing homes or putting a shelter, food, and helping some of the food. That, by the way, is the point of the session. Any closing comments? I do want to thank our title sponsors, Snugs USA, Warwick Publishing. And by the way, Phil from Warwick is doing a session on Friday, the 25th of this month, on creating a business annuity for your company. Phil's the sales manager for Warwick, so you can go to the SuccessTracks page, free promo tips, and register for that. And also AIA, our good friends over there, Rebecca and David Woods, supporting all this, and Hit, that will be sending out goodies to those who attended this session. So, Danny, you want to wrap it up?
Yeah, I appreciate everybody taking some time to listen about what we can do to positively affect change, through our businesses, internally and externally with our clients, through some of these action items I hope I threw your way that you can take and put into motion. Appreciate what you've done to put this together, Jeff, and wish everybody the best of luck with improving the world we live in.
Okay, so I can't think of a more perfect close here, because this is our good friend Ronnie Wright, who was the PPEF education chair, and Ronnie, she conquered her fears by doing parasailing, and last year it was Alan cutting his famous handlebar mustache off. But I'm going to just share comments. We value time, and I look at 10:58 here on the West, and so we start on time, we end on time, but she says, I'll just read it because she writes really good. By the way, Ronnie is with the book company, and they do some amazing things. So love this message, Danny. Thanks for offering your time. I believe in the power of messaging, so I am delighted that we sell books where we can educate, show we care, heal, and inspire. By the way, this isn't like a stage plug for the book company.
Right.
Ronnie actually lives it and believes it. You know that, Danny, and
yes.
Many of the people. We've got a really high-end group, frankly, on this call. So I think everybody gets what we're trying to do here. And in conjunction, loves this. It was awesome. So thanks for that comment, Ronnie. And this is what we're doing with SuccessTracks, and what Promo Kitchen's trying to do is help others. And we all work together to make this a great industry. If anybody has any questions or comments, you can email me directly, jeff@freepromotips.com. And if anybody has a topic they want to share, if people want to support what we're doing with Free Promo Tips and SuccessTracks, again, jeff@freepromotips.com. And so you guys all have a great day. Thank you so much for taking your valuable time to be with us. Danny, thanks again. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was. Thanks, Jeff.